Hello and welcome to another episode of the Cricket Company podcast. In the last episode, we spoke about the teams which will be participating in the IPL and where all of them stood. In this segment, we will talk about the players to watch out for. So Tanveer, let's start off with our probable top buys. Right, number one on my list at least is left-handed batsman from Jharkhand, not MS Dhoni but Ishan Kishan. I mean, he can be considered to be a pocket dynamite, and I think he possesses all the traits of a player as well as a brand for a new team to probably build upon. And I think he's going to go for a lot of bucks. What do you think?
Yeah, definitely. Even I would rate Ishan Kishan as one of the biggest buys. Really wanted him to be retained by the Mumbai Indians, but now that it's not happened, I really feel he will go for a very high amount. Again, as you spoke, with him comes another, like, he brings in an energy in the team as well. And he can be seen as a future captaincy option as well. So he is a package. And if it's a last auction, teams will definitely be looking to go hard for him. So yeah, definitely he will be one pick. I also feel another big buy can be Quentin Decock. Like, as we spoke about a left-handed batsman, Quentin Decock gets you that left-hand option, opener, as well as a wicket keeper. And his stature has just been growing in international cricket as well. So again, he's one of the best wicket keepers you'll get, openers, and a left-hand batsman. So again, he could be a very interesting buy. Again, with that, I feel another one player who I'm really looking forward to. A lot of people are looking forward to Iyer, but my pick is David Warner. David Warner, I feel, should ideally be one of the highest paid players because it's not just about his game, it's the reputation and the brand value which he will add. He has come back to form after the IPL. He won the man of the tournament in the World Cup. And David Warner is a brand in himself. He adds a lot of value to a team. And I would definitely expect a team to go for him as a captain as well.
Right. So you said that Warner will be a pick, not a year, but I think we cannot ignore the fact that a year will also go for a lot of money.
Definitely.
Purely fact that he slots in as a middle order, calm and composed Indian batsman and someone who's got captaincy experience behind him. I think he led Delhi for 2 years, 1.5 years, really well.
Yeah.
So he also comes with a package like Kishan, and he has more experience. So I think these four, all of them are batsmen. I think we've gone with two overseas and two Indian. But I think these four are going to be the top cream for sure come the auction. Of course, we have the bowlers and the all-rounders, but I think these four just add a lot of multi-dimensional value to the team. So these are our highest picks. Let's go the opposite direction now. Let's talk about a few veterans which have done really well for their franchises in the past, have had a reputation behind them, but this time might not go for as much or might not even get picked. And at the top of that list might just end up being Suresh Raina. I mean, he is Mr. IPL. He has performed year after year. He's been instrumental in CSK becoming what CSK is. But I think his stocks have fallen quite a bit, especially since in the last season we saw Uthappa was preferred over Raina by Dhoni in the fag end of the tournament, even after Raina was fine, I think. So that just goes to show that Raina has kind of lost his mojo and might not be a top pick anymore. What about some other players in this category for you?
Um, I think another couple of players in this category, if I talk about batsmen, two important people who've been like a part in international cricket as well as in the IPL, I would say a David Miller and a Ian Morgan. Now, when you look at these two players, Miller made his name a lot in the IPL, like Killer Miller. He built his reputation. But now, as you see, in international cricket, he may still be doing fine. But in the IPL, he hasn't done anything extraordinary for teams to come hard bid for him. So I feel he might go like a low-key bid. Someone might just get him for a cheap buy. And when you talk about Morgan, last year he came in with a big reputation. People wanted him in the auction, like the last couple of years, as a captain, as a middle order player. People expected a lot from him. But again, he wasn't able to deliver. As a captain, yes, KKR reached the final last year, but as a batsman, Morgan failed to deliver. And when you see his recent form as well, playing for England, he hasn't been in the best of forms. He has been struggling. And like probably people are calling this the end of his career. So with the long-term auction, I doubt teams will go hard for Morgan this time around.
Right. I absolutely agree with these two picks of yours. And to cap it off, I think my second pick would also be Rena's teammate Dwayne Bravo. I think Dwayne Bravo has kind of regained form in the last 18 months as compared to, I think, 3-4 years back. But again, I don't think that is enough for teams to look at him as a long-term prospect. age is not on his side, and he's kind of, I think only team might bid for him would be CSK for the sentimental value. But again, you never know, they might just pass him off over this time. So I think these 3-4 players who've done well in the past, Morgan maybe not as much, but he took KKR to the final last year, and that cannot be taken away from him. So I think this is a good category to discuss. And then finally, probably the young guns, if you may call them, or just players to watch out for who could swoop in and take in a big bid for themselves. And I think top of that list again for me is SRK, not the film star, but Shah Rukh Khan from Tamil Nadu, who's really been killing it in the domestic arena. I think he just comes in and just goes all out, 20 ball 50, 30 ball 70, and he comes in with a package of being an all-rounder, right? So what do you think about Shah Rukh Khan being a really big pick for the auction?
Definitely, Shah Rukh Khan will be on the radar for many teams. He does the part-time bowling as well. So you can consider him as a somewhat all-rounder, not developed yet, but a big hitter who teams can develop in the future as an all-rounder. And being an Indian middle order, like a hard-hitting talent is always a plus point. So yeah, SRK will be one of my top people to look out for as well. Another very interesting player I'm very excited for would be Mitchell Marsh. He hasn't been all that well in the IPL going along these years, but when you look at his current form, man of the tournament, like one of the key contenders for the man of the tournament, at least if you say in the T20 World Cup. And his performance has been brilliant over the last 12 months. He's come back to a good level of fitness, is bowling those overs, is batting well. And again, he bats at the top of the order. At around 3 or 4, you can bat him, and he's been scoring runs everywhere he's gone and played. So again, he will be a very interesting pick for me because again, there aren't a lot of all-rounders available in the auction. Like as you see, most of the people have already been retained by their teams or picked by the new teams. So Mitchell Marsh provides you with a batting option at the top of the order, can give you those 4 overs, and he's a good player of spin as well. So I will be really excited to see who targets Mitchell Marsh because I feel he can be a very expensive buy in this auction.
True. I think Mitchell Marsh is a very interesting pick which you've gone with. I think the fact that he's not really performed in the IPL might just be beneficial for a few teams because they might see him as a value buy. As it's going to be interesting because he bats at 3-4, so he's not fulfilling the criteria of a Stoinis. So that also might kind of tilt it in someone else's favor, and that someone else for me could be an interesting one called Jason Holder. Now, Jason Holder is an interesting case. I personally am not a big fan of Holder. So when I'm talking about him in this category, it's because I think he's been able to put in performances which have exceeded his talent to an extent. I think he's been now utilizing his height a lot better. I think he picked up a fifer just in the last game against England. In the last over, of course, but still he's possessing the ability to go out there and perform for his team day in and day out. I think he had a couple of good seasons with SRH as well, and his batting is always on the rise. So if Mitchell Marsh is a player which teams are targeting for the 3rd, 4th spot, I think Holder could be a value buy for teams at the 7th, 8th spot and really do well for their team. While we've spoken about the foreign all-rounders, one Indian pacer which I'm looking forward to, and I think you as well are, is Avesh Khan, right? What are your thoughts about the speedster?
Avesh Khan has grown in stature over the last one season. Like the last season was his breakthrough season. He got the chances when Rabada and Nokia were not there, and he made it count. And now you can see he has been included in the Indian team as well. So he will definitely be one person who a lot of teams will be eyeing for. When you see the other Indian paces available, a Bhuvi has been on the decline. Shami is not one of your most reliable death bowlers. So Avesh Khan, like looking at his talent and the age being on his side, he is definitely one player who a lot of teams might be targeting. So yeah, I will definitely be looking forward to Avesh Khan.
What are your thoughts about Joffra Archer? Because the interesting news here is that he's registered for the auction, but he's not available this year. But that means that few teams have approached him to register so that they can buy him probably this year and utilize him in the coming years, right? What are your thoughts about this kind of arrangement?
That's actually a very interesting kind of an arrangement because probably teams have realized that they do need him and they know if he comes in at a later stage, they won't be able to buy him. So maybe just a utility buy that, okay, I'll keep few crores aside this year. I'll get in a very strong player who can benefit me in the long run. So that's looking at a future move that you're looking at such a player who will benefit you in the coming seasons. So yeah, definitely I feel if you get Archer anywhere around 4 to 5 CR, I think that'll be a very good buy for teams looking in the future. Unless he gets injured in the upcoming seasons, he will definitely add a lot of value going ahead. So definitely I feel like our teams have played it smart by asking him to come into the auction this time. because someone may actually end up stealing him for way lesser than they would have actually had to pay for him.
Do you think it's Mumbai?
I would hope it's Mumbai. I wouldn't mind seeing Archer and Bumrah together.
Oh my God. I don't think anyone would mind but the opposition teams. That would be something a sight to really behold. But yes, I think it's an interesting arrangement, and let's see what happens going further if he gets picked or not. So I think we've spoken about 10 to 12 players on either side, which we are looking forward to. Of course, there are the under-19 stars. There's Brevis from South Africa, who's been looked upon as the new AB de Villiers. We've got our own captain Yash Dhul as well. So interesting couple of players there. And I think it's going to be a fascinating auction. We have tons of players going under the hammer. We might just see some random player taking a massive bid, which we don't know about. We might see some massive value buys as well. So very excited, all in all, very, very excited. And let's just hope that it lives up to the hype, right?
Yeah, definitely. I think we have just shortlisted like 45 players in every category here. I'm sure the fans and everyone looking at this video also might have another couple of players in mind. So definitely everyone can let us know their players in the comments, so we can have a discussion there as well on how we think about those players. So definitely it's an auction where everyone has a different mindset going into this, and even fans are confused, like if people want different players. So it's very exciting for fans as well as the teams.
Absolutely. So I think we can wrap this up. I think it's been a good discussion. So thank you for joining in, all of you. We hope to put out more videos like this more regularly and just talk cricket and have a good conversation and have fun. So thank you for joining in. If you are a new watcher, do subscribe to the Cricket Company podcast, and thank you again.
Thank you, guys.
The Cricket Company podcast.